in the raw. RK's Guyana Free Media, and I'm your friend, your brother, your host, HAJI, Dr. ROSHAN in the raw. This has to do with the 18 megawatt of generation from the power ship connected to GPL's grid. Now, there's a lot of talk from the petty minds of certain ones in the opposition who we are paying to oppose. I mean, we as a democracy, we have to pay an opposition to oppose, even though, regardless, in the words of Forbes Burnham, with their inanities, stupidities, vulgarities, we have to pay them. And so they're talking a lot of trash and feeding negatives into the minds of their people who will enjoy, my beloved divine brothers and sisters, this additional electricity that the government, through our money, the people's money, has invested temporarily to give us some form of relief. I do think that the opposition is basically objecting because it will provide a kind of a mental satisfaction and peace of mind to the people. Yes. So the people will feel happy. That is why the PNC, when they were in opposition, the major opposition, and the Ramjatan AFC was in the minor opposition, with the PPP with a minor leadership or a minor victory. And so together they sabotage hydro. And this is where you, the people, must never forget Ramjatan. You, the people in the quarantine especially, and throughout the country and in everywhere that you suffer, Buxton, anywhere you suffer, all my stock, anywhere you suffer, you must know the person to blame is Ramjatan and his AFC, Alliance for Change. What change? The change to backwardness, the change to evil, the change to waste, the change to lie, to attempt to steal an election by lying, Ramjatan, about the Russians and the Libyans and how you deported them. I mean, it wouldn't be in the records, we wouldn't find it, we wouldn't see it. So people never forget Ramjatan. But this is the man with his AFC that caused the Amelia hydroelectric program to come to an end because he wanted something. And the Barajagdev government of that time would not give it to him. Oh no, I think that was Ramotar government. They would not give it to him. And so he joined with the PNC to sabotage hydro. You suffer. People of Guyana, you suffer because of Ramjatan. Or else the funding would not have been stopped and we would have had a magnificent hydro. And hydro, they're trying to say, oh, it was approved by the Americans, the IDB, the European Union, the world, the United Nations. But they say, oh, the water will dry up during the dry weather, as if they are bereft of intelligence, Ramjatan. Bereft his party of intelligence to know wherever there is a hydro, there is a massive lake where the water recycles, Ramjatan. You've got to make sure this election, you know how you're voting for that man. So he's also part of this ilk of the opposition, criticizing now the government for doing all it could to bring some stability in electrical supply by hiring an electric ship. And I'm going to read that to you shortly. It's called Car Power Ship in Guyana waters, coming from Turkey which is that's the only country in the world that has this kind of a facility. Let me show you. This is what the ship looks like, ladies and gentlemen. It can move from country to country, supplying electric. This is a side view, and this is an inside view. I'm trying to give you some ideas as to what it is. So they're not complaining to the government is spending too much money. Oh, really? If you want something, you gotta spend money. But they don't want the people to have peace of mind and satisfaction, particularly coming up to the next elections. Not a thing to watch it for. Excellency President Dr. Irfan Ali, VP Jagdeo, Prime Minister Mark Phillips, Sheikh Baksh of the Guyana Water Inc. During that same time when the election was ongoing, certain elements of the opposition controlling GWI started a massive campaign just about election time. When I spoke to the person in charge, he laughed when I told him, you guys, like, you have a special plan to affect the government. And he laughed because that is an unpopular thing, to disconnect people coming to election time and to affect them. So here now we will have reliable electricity. Government of Guyana, CEO of GWI, Sheikh Baksh, be on the lookout by your people who might try to go on a mass disconnection campaign just before the next elections. So here a government has decided to bring in a 36 megawatt. Now each megawatt, I was made to understand, powers 7,000 homes. So this is the situation. I got disturbed. Remember, this is in the raw. So friends and families, ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of a mindset of an immature, amateur opposition that we have. How can we have an opposition like this? How can any of us respect them, support them in any way possible when they will disturb the people's happiness and joy and peace just so they can hope to win an election, which is far from ever possible in reality? So they're like the kind of people, if we can't get it, you have to suffer the consequences. Now, it is said, right now, they have added 18 megawatts. 18 megawatts, each one give about 7,000. That will give you about 26 households will be powered. And with incremental increases of the full 36 megawatts will give you about 252,000 households at 7,000 households per 1 megawatt, which is pretty good. Of course, the larger organizations will suck that out. And that is why more is expected, and we are expected our gas to shore very soon, brainchild of our Vice President, Dr. Bara Jagdeo. So here, giving you a little idea, I'm supportive of this, I'm happy, but how can you want things that this might take? I'm advising you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to pay, how will you get? And use our money, yes, that you have stored up their governments to give people satisfaction. And try to give them, the people, some also, so they can feel a little bit better. So so the remainder will be added. Right now you get 18 megawatts. The which means each megawatt is 7,000 households. So you'll have the other 18 megawatts within another week to few days, or maybe 2 weeks. I like to give a little extra. They say a week, I say 2 weeks. I am saying this is a good thing. This is joyful. Norton and Ram Jatan. I know you, Ram Jatan, you got to follow your boss Norton. You gotta hop to his music. You gotta dance to the man's tune. You have no choice. Even though you are said to be independent, the man said, no, you can't vote against them because they could throw you out of parliament. So let me read now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you my take, which is quite a few minutes, 10 minutes of take, that's long. The Guyana Power and Light Incorporated, GPL Inc., on Saturday night said that only 18 megawatts of generation was connected to its Demerara Berbice Interconnected System, DBIS, from the Turkish-owned Car Power. The remaining generation will be added to the grid incrementally during the course of the coming week, GPL stated on its Facebook page. Guyana chartered the vessel to supply some 36 megawatts of power to its electricity grid in order to alleviate the current blackout crisis. And I like to applaud my government and show a deep appreciation to them. The power company had promised that an additional 36 megawatt of power would have been connected to the grid on May 8th. Culture News understand that the power company experienced some minor technical challenges which resulted in the connection of the additional power to the grid being delayed, and such things are very important. You have life and property and value, and it is possible. It is unclear if all of the minor technical issues have been resolved, but GPL promised that the rest of the 36 MV, that is 18 more megawatts, will be added to the grid incrementally during the course of the coming week. I give them a few days more. Let us say 12 days. I just give them a few days more. The GPL recently inked a contract with Urbacon Concessions Investments W.L.L.UCI to charter the Turkish vessel with a total installed capacity of 36 megawatts for the period of 2 years. Car Power ship arrived in Guyana waters last week and docked at Everton Berbice. The contract, according to GPL, includes the provision of operation and maintenance services as part of the agreement. The utility company in a statement said that the contract requires GPL to pay UCI a fee of 6.62 US cents per kilowatt hour on a monthly charter fee for the power ship and a monthly operation and maintenance fee of 0.98 US cents per kilowatt hour based on the electricity generated. Now, it adds up. But from my understanding, it is quite cheap. The cost, however, excludes the price for fuel, because according to the contract signed, Guyana will still have to supply the power ship with fuel in addition to the agreed sum to charter the vessel. Pressed for the true cost to rent the vessel, the country's Vice President Jacques Deo on one occasion said it would cost Guyana nearly US 0.30 cents per kilowatt hour, while on another occasion he said it will cost between US 0.12 to US 0.22 cents per kilowatt hour. Right now, I don't care. I have a generator. Thank you, Lord God. But the people of this country, most of them don't. And so they need help. They need support from the government. And they need to be able to get reliable electricity, because many are studying, many are sick. The hospitals need electricity. The people need electricity. And it is for the better of Guyana. So government of Guyana, President Jacques Deo, former President Jacques Deo, and our President, Dr. Irfan Ali, Mark Phillips, our cabinet, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this. Thank you. government of Guyana. Thank you, beloved and divine friends, and give praise to our government. Give praise because we need this. Even you, the people who might not support the government, applaud them. Your friend, your brother, me, HAJI, Dr. ROSHAN, can in the raw. Say thank you. Farewell, friend.